What's up, everybody? My name is Rick from Pneuma Yoga. I'm a yoga therapist, and I got into this profession because of my own health problems, my own health journey, just trying to figure out how to solve all the problems that I was experiencing. There was a time that I could not sit without pain. My guts were racked, my back was screaming, and my mind, it just wouldn't stop. So I did chemo and radiation therapy as a young man, and this absolutely ruined my health. The surgeries, the trauma, the experience of going through cancer 2 times as a young adolescent really, really destroyed my health. It was the aftermath. It was the after effect of the experience. My body never really healed from it. I just continued to get worse and worse and worse. For 2 decades, it was turmoil and struggle as I just got kind of stuck in this rut of constant inflammation, constant pain. Even though I looked healthy, even though I looked all right, man, I was not experiencing health. My body hurt, my stomach hurt, and I never felt clean or clear, just heavy and dull. It was so draining and miserable just to be constantly stuck in this loop. No matter what I did or what I tried, my body just wouldn't heal. It's not like I didn't try, it's not like I didn't try things. I exercised, I ate right. Hospital couldn't do anything for me. I did all kinds of acupuncture and chiropractic and nutrition response testing. But one thing that really started to work for me was breathing. Breathing was one of my biggest breakthroughs. When I started exploring breathwork, I was captivated by how it created a shift within, about how I started to feel my body again, and how long, I could go with holding my breath after doing some big, powerful breathing. It was incredible. What I didn't understand at the time was breathing's very complicated, and you absolutely need a teacher to progress and go forward. I was exploring on my own, doing all kinds of videos on YouTube. I bought Wim Hof's course. I did these other pranayama yoga courses, but it wasn't enough. I knew it was the way, but what I was doing wasn't working. I wasn't experiencing the health that I knew my body was capable of. I was still feeling heavy and dull, and my constipation was such a problem. I knew the breathing could fix it. I just didn't know what I was missing. As I struggled through the restaurant industry, I ran a pizza restaurant for most of my life. Every day was such a battle. It seemed like no matter what I ate, I was just going to have a stomach ache. I was just going to be bloated and I'd be having pain the rest of my shift. I knew I needed to get out of there, but I didn't know what to do. I kept seeing this yoga therapy program that was up in Duluth, Minnesota, a couple hours away from my house here in Rochester. As I looked at this program, it really seemed interesting to me, but it was a far fetched idea. But something about it drew me in. I had no idea what it was. Really didn't understand what the program was to begin with. None of it made a lot of sense. As years went by, I went back to school. I was going to get into echocardiography or sonography, something at the Mayo Clinic. It's pretty popular to do here in Rochester, but it just didn't feel right to me. It did not feel right to me to go work at Mayo Clinic or to do something like that. I just couldn't do it. I'd stand in the shower at night after work and I would just feel wrong about going into some kind of career like this. I needed to do something holistic. That much I knew. I finally decided that I was going to sign up for the yoga therapy program. And this was right before COVID. A couple of things happened at this time. My mom had passed away from cancer. She never would have allowed me to go into that program, would have disowned me. So that opened up that window. We sold the restaurant, and so I had the time. Since COVID was coming around and everything was in lockdown, it was the perfect time for me to dive into this. I signed up just for the 200-hour training in the beginning, not knowing what I was getting into, but I learned an incredible thing there. Somatic yoga, learning how to engage and to release, to contract and to relax, and to learn to feel muscles that were stuck. This absolutely blew my mind. I had no idea how much tension I was carrying and how much of my body I couldn't sense and feel. Even with these simple practices, I started to understand a lot about how I was breathing incorrectly. As I practiced and focused, I kept feeling and feeling more and more. And I realized how bad a breather I was, even though I practiced so much breath work before. So that just brings me back to you need a teacher to help you breathe because you cannot witness the mistakes that you're making on your own. So I progressed through the first year of training, the first 200 hours, and I'd learned quite a bit. I learned quite a bit about my body, but I still was not anywhere into the healing space that I would soon get to. So then I rolled in the next round, the teacher training, 500 hours. We dived more into the breathing, and this is where we started to learn about subtle breathing and controlled pauses. And this is what really started to blow my mind. So I thought my mind was blown before. Now I started to learn about the science behind breathing and how to improve respiration, how to sit in the stillness and increase the comfortable pause, your ability to sit and tolerate more CO2. I got obsessed with this. I'm still obsessed with this, practicing holding my breath, taking the pauses, and keeping this level high. Absolutely changed the way I feel inside and reduced a lot of inflammation. My mind felt clearer, my body felt clearer, I moved better, I breathed better, I had more energy. Things really started to change for me. But unbeknownst to me, as you start to dive in deeper and deeper into the subtler layers, I started to notice I had way more tension in my body than I ever thought. And it would be another few years before I started to learn how to release this. Even as I went through the next level of training, through my 1,000 hours of yoga therapy, I was missing so much in my body, even though I practiced so much. A year after my training, I started to really feel my back relax. I started to realize how deeply and subtly I was bracing my body, bracing my breath, bracing my mind, my energy. I was really holding. It's incredible what we hold within that we're not aware of. And that's what's so amazing about somatic yoga and breathing that even if you're holding a tremendous amount like I was with my motorcycle accident, with the cancer surgeries and treatments, and how much this affected my health down the road, working in the job that drove me crazy. Every day was a struggle, just more tension on top of more tension. Can't sense and feel it. Starting to learn and move and release the tension is where you're going to make the changes. It's all within you. And that's what's so magical about this practice. That's what's so magical about you is you can learn the skills just from these simple exercises to start to understand the sense and feel. Where am I bracing? What am I holding? What is changing the chemistry within me? And then how can I start to let that go and come back to balance? That is what yoga is all about. Bringing the soma, the mind, the body, the breathing, the energy, the soul, the spirit, all back to its center. Reconnect and live. All it takes is turning inward. Breathe well, and you will live well. It's exactly what I do here at Pneuma Yoga, as I teach people how to move through their body again, how to breathe, how to feel safe, and to let go. This is nervous system repairing. This is breath re-educating, and this is body understanding. Pneuma Yoga is the way to understand and how to listen, to make sense of what the root cause of the suffering is. So if you've dealt with injury, if you've dealt with trauma, if you've dealt with burnout, if you're tired of chasing energy instead of generating it, and if you want to feel your body as home again, then join me. Subscribe. I'll share weekly practices, breath work, yoga, recovery, stillness, even yoga for jujitsu. This is Pneuma Yoga, and this is healing from the inside out. And this is for everybody.